Start. Can you just pull that curtain back a bit, please?
Oh, yeah. Maybe I put that one back because that's not on the camera.
Oh, we're trying to get light on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should do.
Hey everybody, just to establish in this opening shot, I'm not wearing makeup, okay? This guy's semi-straight, he's British, so he may not be straight.
It's not relevant.
I take this.
It's not relevant. Okay, let's get on with it. Would you stop talking? You should know a whole lot better than that.
Okay. Very good.
Just say your names at the beginning and who you are. And
Well,
what
I'm playing commentator and
I'm just Daniel. You say that.
Your
we
real
introduce. Alright.
We going?
Right.
You ready? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, go. Saran, Singh, Miss O'Sullivan's, what class are we?
English
12H English class.
Daniel Burnett, Miss O'Sullivan's 12H English class. I like long walks on the beach and fucked off my feet. Good. Hello everybody! Welcome to You Got Shakespeare'd! Brought to you by pointlessassignments.com. Today, two contestants will be debating the relevance of Shakespeare's sonnet 1, 1, 1. In Shakespeare's corner, with a PhD in Shakespeareology and Shakespeareonomy, Dr. Reginald Pumpernickel. and in Steve Jobs' corner, with a fifth of whiskey and a half-completed arts degree, Clarence Hellspawn Romney. Republican power.
Hello, my name is Reginald, an eminent actor of the Royal Shakespeare Company, and it's my absolute pleasure to perform for you today Shakespeare's illustrious sonnet 111, written by the great bard himself. Oh, for my sake do you with fortune chide, the guilty goddess of my harmful deeds, that did better not for my life provide than public means which public manners breeds. Thence it comes that my name receives a brand, and thence it comes that my nature is subdued. To what it works in, like the dyer's hand, pity me then, and wish I were renewed. Whilst, like a willing patient, I will drink potions of Esau against my strong infection. No bitterness, and I will bitter think, nor double penance to correct correction. Pity me then, dear friend, and I assure you that even your pity is enough to cure me.
What was that?
That, sir, was Shakespeare's sonnet 111.
Why are you reciting Shakespeare? Haven't you seen the movie? Leo, such a babe, with the boat hitting the iceberg, and then Kate Winslet. Off topic.
Oh, you poor soul. Clearly you haven't been enlightened by the majesty of Shakespeare's works.
Clearly you haven't been enlightened since the Age of Enlightenment.
Oh no, we didn't.
Nobody ever laughs at that joke. Now let me show you the work of a true poet, a true artiste. Myself. To truly be poetic, you must have suffered anguish, feel the rawest and darkest of emotions, understand pain as you would a friend.
You can get that. It's kind of really.
Hello? Hello, Mummy! No, I'm just at the Shakespeare thing. No, these guys, I'll read it later. He's rubbish though, he's gone. No! I want the red Ferrari! I've already got a silver Porsche, they'll clash. Oh fine, I'll just ask Dad then. Don't know, I could say what I... Love you too, Mummy. Bye. Sorry about that. You wouldn't understand the pain I go through on a daily basis. Now witness true poetry. Anguish channeling through my blood. You loathe that I must stand in the spotlight, that my passion forces me into the gaze of those who would corrupt my natures, the faceless masses who sway to the rhythm of my words, swaying with such force that my message is corrupted. I speak purity from my mouth, but as it enters their ears, it is twisted by their imperfections. And through the corruption of my words, my very identity is polluted. I become what they see. I'm cast into a role that I despise, but how can I escape it? What is a player who cannot play his part. So don't pester me with envy. My fate is not one to aspire to. I am a slave to fools. My tale warrants your pity. My energy in my mind is bottlenecked, swelling in my skull. Cracking. My message is not understood. So I down a fifth till it becomes a 50th. I walk down this road, aware that it leads to fire and brimstone. But where else can I turn? So pity the weight of my world, a world that would crush Atlas to powder. And pity my plight, and perhaps I'll have the strength to go on.
This is a joke. Surely, you claim that piece of so-called poetry can in any way be considered to be poetic, or any way compared to Shakespeare's masterful sonnet. Whereas Shakespeare was clearly trying to make a point in his typically abstract manner, you have decided to vomit pretty words onto a page and pass it off as a thing of beauty. It's not even a sonnet. It doesn't even adhere to the basic principles. Where's the iambic pentameter? The rhyming pattern? No, wait. Where's the rhyme in general?
Modern poetry is a living being coursing through the mind of an artiste. You can't channel something that primal into a predetermined template.
How then can you compare a poem to a sonnet? It's like trying to compare Nicki Minaj to Mozart.
Well, that's easy. Nicki Minaj is totes awesome and Mozart is silly.
You have taken the concept of an abstract sonnet and retarded it to the point where it becomes comical. Throughout Sonnet 111, Shakespeare was making every single word count. Your poem branches off in random directions that have no conceivable relation to what your original point was. It's a travesty.
The poem chooses what direction it takes. I merely write it down on paper. The complex emotions that Shakespeare was trying to convey are far too multifaceted to stick to one point. Though it was a cute attempt for an amateur.
How dare you speak of the bard of Avon like that, you pitiful excuse for a poet. In the true sonnet, Shakespeare states, whilst like a willing patient, I drink potions of Esau against my strong infection. Your poem, on the other hand, has bastardized his words. So I down a fifth till it becomes a 50th?
Yeah, I was proud of that.
That's not even mathematically correct, let alone poetic. You play on the stupidity of the modern audiences, softly speaking eloquent words within their ears, whilst their minds are dulled to the pretentious nature of what you are saying. You live in a day and age where idiots can invent whatever garbage clogs your mind and be lauded for it. Shakespeare lived in an era where a poor playwright could be executed for a bad production. Your sonnet is a sea of self-pity, when in reality, sir, you have nothing to dare complain about.
How dare you trivialize my suffering? My life is nothing but emptiness. My very being radiates darkness.
Yeah, after you spend 3 hours a day finding this gothic makeup.
I'm expressing myself!
More like fancying yourself. Regardless, your modern interpretation of this sonnet completely lacks any noteworthy figurative language, the true essence of a sonnet. To what it works in, like the dyer's hand, this simile simply radiates power, encapsulating perfectly how Shakespeare deems his works to become polluted due to his continued interaction with the public.
You call that figurative language? Either you haven't read my work, or your PhD,
Two of them.
or whatever you call it, if that's even a real thing. You might want to check that. Clearly hasn't prepared you for the world of contemporary poetry. Now let me give you a glimpse into the mind of a true artiste. Again. For the last time. But first, just let me update my Facebook status. I don't want to talk about it. Send. Good luck. The faceless masses who sway to the rhythm of my words, swaying with such force that my message bends to their will. This metaphor visually communicates how my message has been corrupted by my fans.
Just to clarify, by your fans, you mean your mummy?
You leave my
Matriarch?
matriarch, thank you very much, out of this. However you look at it, my metaphor is not only the better visual representation of how I perceive my words to be distorted, but I also criticize my listeners, citing that their self-centered perceptions renders them completely oblivious to the true suffering behind my speech, twists adapting my words till it suits their purpose.
Okay, I have to concede that abomination does technically constitute a metaphor, but it's arrogant, pretentious, and a massive cliche. You lambast your fans for not understanding something which requires no understanding. Your poem is the embodiment of self-pity, unremarkable and repetitive.
What about Shakespeare's? This is really hard to read because this guy was strange. That did better not for a life provide, that public means, which public manners breed. Thence comes, my name receives a brand, and thence my nature is subdued. My line's pretentious? This man is whining about how his fans and his stardom has made him a pawn of the people.
Writing to so many people, including you, sir, is only a distraction. For Shakespeare, it was his way of life, a way of putting bread on the table. If he did not do what the public demand he do, or write how the public dictate he write, he lost his livelihood. If you do not do what your so-called fans demand of you, you lose followers on Twitter. Your situations cannot be any more disproportionate. Oh yeah, and at least he was a celebrity.
I was on The Voice, and Delta Goodrum turned around for me.
Isn't that a bad thing?
Yeah, I can't defend that one either.
Either way, my sonnet is clearly superior. While I admit that Shakespeare has some form of talent, he lived in an age where that kind of writing was appreciated. But today, you have to try so much harder to make something good. Just because it's old doesn't necessarily make it good.
If that's your idea of a compromise, then I reject it. Shakespeare's sonnet is by far superior to whatever that was that you just stated. Unlike your sonnet, Shakespeare perfectly encapsulates how he feels that the weight of his work is crushing him, and to the point where he cannot even maintain a normal relationship. Your sonnet, on the other hand, is just you whining repeatedly about things that have no relevance to what the audience care about. And you cannot hope to aspire to Shakespeare's writing qualities.
Can't you just be cool? Just for once, just in front of the cameras, just for the people, so they could leave with some closure, thinking that maybe we, from two different angles of the same argument, can agree on something. Can you just be cool? Just once! Just once! Just once be cool! Please! Do you want it? I want it! That guy who disappeared behind there inexplicably as I came in wants it. Everybody wants it. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go download ABBA songs and label them as Cradle of Filth.
That was it.